Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Our Year, brought to you by Spates, the TAB, Scopic and the Mighty One New Zealand Warriors. My name is Mitch James, this is Anthony Galling, and we got the fights on tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Jello, she's going to be a big one. Sonny Bill Williams versus Paul Gallen. I was about to say Mark Hunt, we all know how that one went, but a huge night of fights.
It is, mate, it is. Two of the OGs. Can you remember, because you're a little bit younger than me, how old were you when Sonny Bill burst onto the scene?
In 04, I would have been 9 years old.
Do you remember like the superstardom? Like, did it impact you as a 9-year-old?
Bro, I used to go to the barber and ask for a Sonny Bill. That is literally how much of a star he was back in my day. Back in your day, you probably played against him, you're that old. But
I did have the Sonny Bill. I had the Sonny Bill haircut. I
who
remember,
didn't have the Sonny Bill, bro? I mean, I said Sonny Bill, no line.
It only came to memory was 2004. So I was 14 at high school, and one of the assignments was we had to redesign New Zealand's currency. And so of course I put Sonny Bill on the $100 note. And I stumbled across it a couple years ago. I was at my mum's house at one of my old textbooks. I saw it and cracked up. I was like, man, what a fanboy I was. But
who was on the 50 and the 20? That's what I want to know. Carlos Spencer on the 50.
I kind of talked too much in class, so I didn't get that far in the assignment. I just finished on the 100.
So, Jello, let's get into our weekend recap, brother. We had plenty of action over the weekend with our New Zealand teams. Starting off with the boys in black, the All Blacks, they finally got it done. Convincingly enough against the Frogs, 43-17. Rico Ioane got on the score sheet again, the local boy, starting to show some good signs.
Yeah, it was one of those games. The first test, people had some question marks over them. Some question marks over France too. You know, how good are they getting now? Like a B team can come over here and do a job. But I'm glad the boys got up, and there was some nice little, like you mentioned Rico Ioane, but there's some nice little plays going on. Ethan, if you want to roll that one, that try that they scored, something out of the NFL, this little play action move.
And this time down the blind side.
Oh, you gotta love that. You gotta love that. The old Deke.
Picks up the opening try of the game. Beautifully worked. Certainly.
How good is Cam Roigard? He's got to be the future of number 9 in New Zealand. We got Hotham coming up as well, but this guy is an absolute freak. Owns the All Black record for the Broncos, beat Beauden Barrett's record of 4 minutes 13.
Really? Wow, I know people all over the world were trying to crack that. What did he get? Do you know what time?
I think he beat it by a second. So if I recall, Bowden's might have been 4:16, and I think he got a 4:15 or something along those lines.
It's always controversial when there's 1 second in it, because is the timekeeper giving him that grace?
I mean, look, let's face it. If it's not done by laser, it's probably a bit shoddy. But look, moving on, Jello, we had the Jersey Flag boys, our under-21 team. So this was an insane comeback. They're down by 22, I believe, with 12 minutes to go, and somehow pull off the absolute impossible, a 44-42 win to set the tone for our Sunday.
Yeah, it was a great weekend for the Wars all over, but this game in particular, so this is a Jersey Flag side that have they've started a little bit slow this year. Jersey Flag's hard because every year you've got a fresh crop. The boys are thrown in. You know, the good ones are taken to play cup. You know, some of the SG ball boys come up halfway through the year, so it's very disjointed. But they've found a bit of rhythm now. They're getting some wins on the board. The great Monty Beetham, he's actually coaching them. Not with us here tonight. He's actually training the boys, the Jersey Flag boys. But we got some footage. So this is the last 2 tries of that game.
Managed to just somehow shrink.
So down by 10
already in the 80th minute.
Got the little offload there to Thompson. He saw space. He needed the man to get it to.
I love this one.
The electric one out here on the right edge. Settled out. That's the spin.
That's the circle on Madden.
As well. And then the offload. Magnificent play. And the kick would go over too. 42 points to 28.
And the 82nd
All right,
minute.
well, last shot at it here. Warriors, they're flying home.
So this is the last play of the game.
A miracle. Into the hands of Wenetana Patelesio. Now to Norris with the step back inside. Brandon Norris beats 1, beats 2, past the fullback. Away he goes. Brandon Norris. Oh my goodness.
So fun fact,
What
that's my
just
landlord's
happened?
son. What a comeback, bro. I think any team that can believe with down 22 or 12 to go and make it happen props. I think this club is in a special place, and we both know that.
Yeah, 100%, man. Credit to those young fellas getting the win.
We also had the Anzac Test versus the Lions. Look at that absolute fucking atrocity of a jersey. They had 1 pixel of black on there.
You can see it on the back of the Asa there, that little black
and
square.
if you tucked it in, it was just basically an Australian jersey. They got absolutely hammered, 48-0. But, I mean, you got to wonder, does this stick around for 2029 when they come back to New Zealand? I know if it does, one thing's for certain, they better change the fucking jersey.
Yeah, I think they got to balance it the other way, go completely the other way next time around. But I think it's one of those teams, if you didn't get picked for the All Blacks, if you didn't get picked for the Wallabies, you're not Māoris, you can't play for the Māori All Blacks. You still want to be playing somewhere at this time of the year, because they always say the best players are playing in the postseason. So it's a great opportunity for those guys that played, but obviously thrown together for a week, probably on the piss the whole time. You're never going to get a result, really.
Yeah, I have to agree. I've heard stories about the Barbarians camp, and plenty of booze involved in that one, according to my friend Blake Gibson. But Warriors Tigers, what a win! We're back in the winning circle. 34-14, Jello, and look, Tanner Boyd in his first go at the 7 jersey in the Warriors colours, passed with flying colours.
Yeah, he looked good, man. I knew he would fit in. And he didn't try to overplay. He didn't, do anything different to what the Wars are doing already this year. And he's kicking goals from the sideline, Mitch.
It's a nice sight to see.
Nice, brother.
Look, I love me
Anytime
some
he can
Lukey
get
Met,
kicks.
but man, that dude gave me 6 heart attacks and took 17 years off my life this year with the goal kicks. But Chanel Harris-Tavita had a cracking game as well. I think this half pairing is exciting. I think Tanner's the guy. It's very exciting. We're 4 points clear of 5th. And so a funny story actually happened during, I was doing the MC duties for the Warriors as you do. It's like my little side hustle or whatever. I get done with the halftime show. I go into the changing sheds to go and pick up my keys. And I see Jerome Luai on my way back out. And he just looks me dead in the eyes and goes, "Tom Starling." And I didn't know who Tom Starling was. And so I went back home, and keep in mind I had a moustache on Sunday, and this is what Tom Starling looks like. So
That's a match.
I don't know.
When you had your mustache, that is a match.
He never skips neck day, Tom Starling. But look, I can kind of see what he's saying. But
Hold on, go like this for a second. Yeah, that's a match. Hold on, go like this, Yeah, that's a match, bro.
Yeah. Hey, shout out Jerome Luai. I can see what you're saying, brother. That's great. Actually, pull up a photo of me there, Ethan.
That's pretty
and
similar.
go back. Go. Yeah. I'll take it. I'll dress up as Tom Starling at my next Halloween party.
Well, he might be wearing a New South Wales jersey next year too.
You never know.
At a Halloween party, of course.
So, also on Sunday, Jello, we had the Wahine, who got their first victory of their new campaign, first in 5 years, 14-0 over the Eels. But Michaela Break, rename her Michaela Tackle Break, 16 tackle busts during this game, equaling a record.
Yeah, I don't know what the record was, but you know what? She needed that game, because for 6 months, for the whole build-up of this NRLW, it's been Michaela Break on every promo. She's the face of the team pretty much. And that first game, 2 carries in the first half. For a winger, put a lot of pressure on the other outside backs. I know it wasn't a game she was happy with, but come back to Mount Smart, all eyes on me. She absolutely kills it. Scores that try in the first minute. And then, goes on.
Hell of a finish, too.
Yeah,
Can
it
I
goes
just
on,
say, hell of a
17 tackle
finish.
breaks, and 0 on the scoreboard for the Eels. They hold them to 0, so can't be more happy than that for the girls.
Absolutely. No, I thought she bounced back spectacularly after a pretty disappointing first game there against the Roosters. But look, we also had the Club World Cup final. Chelsea, the world champions, 3-0 over PSG. And the Donald's there. Congratulations, a great team. Tremendous team.
Great sport.
Soccer. They interviewed him and they were like, "Who do you think's the greatest soccer player of all time?" And he's like, "There's a guy called Pele. But look, Donald Trump, you know, love him or hate him, fuck, he makes for a good Instagram clip every now and then.
He does, bro. The whole competition. So a lot of people were like, whatever, like this thing doesn't matter. Nobody cares. Let's have a look at the lineup here. So for this tournament at the final, this is taking a shot at Super Bowl kind of stuff. So you got Coldplay performing. You got Robbie Williams. So this is before the game. This is halftime. You got Donald Trump, the Don.
Tremendous.
Fantastic. What a sport. And then
Some say the greatest sport.
And then you have a look at the security that's needed for all these superstars.
Holy shit. Get this football game out of my music festival.
Oh, look at that, man. So you don't want to be fighting in the crowd at that game. Look at the scopes. Look at the glasses on the guy. Apparently he doesn't have a scope on his gun. He just stares through those.
The zoom-in goggles.
Zoom-in telescopes on his
Zoom-in
face.
goggles. So, Jella, our freak of the week, our baby blacks, the New Zealand under-20s, they are in the final for the Junior Championship, first time in a while. They beat the French, I think it was like 47-38 or something, a high-scoring game. But the youngsters getting it done.
Yeah, and it's the first time in 8 years that they've made the final, which is hard to believe because, you know, in New Zealand, I think we could all say that, you know, our greatest export is our athletes and our rugby team is at the top of that. So, you know, to think we haven't made the final of that under-20s comp is crazy. And it shows where world rugby is at. Like, they took down a French team that's been in the final for the last 5 years.
Yeah, the French and the English tend to be the guys to beat at that under-20 level for the last 10 years. And I believe we got some footage of that last try.
Yeah, so
Still
see how
these
tight it
waves
is.
of
It's a
junior All
one-point
Blacks
game here.
attack. Crashing about the bows of this French defence. That's the penalty they wanted. They can do as they please now. They can punish the French now. Pledger with a dummy, that's cute. Fakasiona!
Reminds me of a young Mitch James playing halfback, actually. A little no-looker.
It's a rugby exhibition.
So I think that clever little pass out of number 9, that's their captain, Dylan Pledger.
Yes, Southern boy, they're starting to produce some really good players. Highlanders Academy is killing it at the moment. One to watch in the next 4 to 5 years if they can keep that same core.
So these are the scenes here, final moments.
That boy's definitely from Southland.
He is the southernest man I've ever seen.
I think he's from Stewart Island. All right, ladies and gentlemen, now it is time for our two special guests. Please give a big our year welcome to two of New Zealand's greatest ever heavyweights, Mr. Shane Cameron and Mr. Junior Farr.
I gotta cut to the chase. Everyone give me some space. Don't fall out, we fall into place. Every step walking with grace, amen. Keeping my foot off the brakes. Impact, I'm ready to brace. We fall down and land on our face. Just to get up and finally escape. Wait. Baby, I'm trying to get paid. Legends don't die in a grave. They live through the story they made, okay? Baby, I'm trying to get paid. Legends don't die in a grave.
So, fellas, thanks so much for coming on the show. Appreciate it. Obviously, some massive fights tonight. So, tell us a little bit about yourselves. Tell us where you're from and how you got into boxing in the first place.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. I don't know how much time you got, but I could speak for 50 minutes straight if you want me to. Because I'm going to start from where I started, but I'm not going to start for 50 minutes. Talk for 50 minutes. But yeah, I started from a little place, from a little boy growing up. I wanted to be, never to be an athlete, never to even live in Auckland, was to be a shepherd, to ride a horse to work every day, and muster sheep and cows up off the hills and do everything farming. That's all I wanted to do. So, and I did that till I was 19 years of age. And then I went over to England, and long story about that, but that's how I got into the sport of boxing. Inspired by my grandfather. My grandfather boxed out of Wellington in the late 1920s, so over 100 years. So I was very inspired by listening to his boxing stories. I thought, man, I'd love to give that sport a go. But where I come from, it's just sheep, cows, horses. That's it. You know, so there was not even a rugby club, so there was no opportunity for me to do any boxing then. It wasn't until I went to England for my OE. And then all of a sudden I'm watching some boxing on TV one day. I'm thinking, oh, I'd love to give that sport a go. I reckon I'll be pretty tough. Because, you know, after a few beers, you're pretty tough. You know, so I've had a few scraps in the pub. But I thought I might test myself a little bit more and go and do it for real. And So I went from fighting every weekend to starting boxing, no more fights, and just fully focused on the sport of boxing, and made a bit of money, lost a bit of money, and had some fun along the way.
Incredible. So cows, sheep, horses, and punch-ons.
Yeah.
How about yourself, Junior? Tell us about how you grew up, where you grew up, and how you got into the sport of boxing.
So for me, I grew up in Papakura, South Auckland. I say I'm from South Auckland, but I'm not like your typical South Auckland boy. I was real, straight cut. Very, very good child. So good that basically, if you knew me when I was younger, you wouldn't think that I would turn out to be a boxer. I would play with my sisters, friends and stuff, and I was just a real soft kid. And then growing up as a teen, I got brought up in rugby just like the rest of us boys, you know what I mean? You live in New Zealand, you play rugby, and I never enjoyed rugby. That just wasn't my game. And for me, it was too physical. But then I saw boxing, and I didn't see that as a physical game. I saw that as a real technical game, and that's what I wanted to do. And so I asked my father when I was 15 if I could box, and he knew what type of kid I was, and he said no. And then I kept on asking him. I turned 16, then he said yes, and then I showed some talent, and then it just basically started from there. 16 started with Lolo, and then just went from strength to strength, fight to fight. And that's how I started.
It's that's really cool. Before we get into anything, just firstly, Shane, what day were you born? What birth date?
Birthday, October 17th.
Okay, I'm October 18th.
Oh.
You are?
October 19th.
Mitch, if you're October 20th, if you are October
June
20th,
26th, sorry to fucking pop the party.
boo, get off this.
Oh, I mean, look at this though. We got specimen, pussy. So I mean, look, if there's anything about October, it's that I'm definitely not born in it. Just looking at you fellas, to be honest, that's crazy. So Junior, tell us about Lolo. He is an absolute legend of the fight game. He has been the tutor of some of the greats. Mark Hunt, I believe was Racifor there as well. I mean, there's so many greats. And tell us a little bit about Lolo and Liga.
The both of us have a lot of experience with Lolo. He was my first coach. So he's a brilliant mind in combat sport. I'm not too sure if he's too well known. You know what I mean? I don't know if too many people know him, but with every good fighter in New Zealand, they got some kind of link towards Lolo Heimuli. He's a very, very brilliant mind when it comes to not just boxing but kickboxing, MMA. I don't really know how to describe him because he's just a very good technical thinker when it comes to the fight game. Right.
Well, Lolo, I had the privilege of him coaching me for a while, and one thing what stood out for me with Lolo is very analytical. As a coach, he breaks down the fight. And I remember one fight I had in Wellington, and he come to me the night before the fight. I was in my change room, obviously nervous, just thinking about what's going to happen, and he gave me this letter. It was typed letter, and it broke it down. It broke down our whole fight plan, what we've been working on the last sort of 3 months. And at the bottom, it like fucking sends chills up my spine even now. He said, "Fear no one, only God." And I'm not a religious person or anything by all means, but it just got me, And I was thinking, I'm going to own that motherfucker tomorrow night. And I sure did. Yeah, so he knows how to pick people up, but break the fight right down. And I've had some fucking amazing coaches throughout my career, so he adds a massive element in that. And so I take that to my coaching, or take that into the world of what we live in, whether it's sport or business. And being analytical it can be not just sport, but it can be with whatever we do. A plan is most important.
Hey, just hearing your guys' backgrounds and where you're from, do you find, I've read a few biographies, and there's a stereotype that fighters come from these really hard backgrounds where, either impoverished or, especially around the world, have you guys found anything like that with the fighters you've met, especially on an international stage? Is there a common thing between fighters and where they come from?
Oh, fighters, yeah. I haven't. Most fighters come from not a lot, you know. Like, yeah, if you're a well-to-do family, you don't normally generally get into boxing, you know. So that's what I've found through wherever I've been around the world. It's always been people that have had hardship, so they're fighting for a better future. They're fighting for a better future and fighting for something better than what they were growing up to what their parents brought up to do.
So, fellas, take us back to the amateurs. So you're both bronze medalists at the Commonwealth Games, which is an incredible feat. And obviously before the traps and crazy world of the program, tell us about growing up in the amateurs, being in New Zealand, and finding your way to a Commonwealth Games.
Yeah, amateur boxing started for me in the UK. So I had 24 fights in the UK when I've had my very first fight when I was 20 years of age. And I started the sport just because I think I'd be good at it. And then I just wanted to see, my mentality was wanted to see how far I could get, you know. So I had my fights there and I won a national title in the UK. And then I come back and won a national title in New Zealand and then managed to have the privilege to represent New Zealand at the Commonwealth Games. I won a bronze medal at 2002 Manchester Commonwealth Games. So
there he is.
Man, like, you look that pretty bastard.
How old are you there?
So I was like 24. You know, so 4 years in boxing, so it was a very short time. But, you know, I'm a big believer your mind is your most powerful tool. So if you want something bad enough, you'll do whatever it takes to make that happen, you know. And if you don't want to, well, then you just do something that your drive and desire, and you'll do whatever it takes to achieve that goal, you know. And at that stage of my life was to become number one.
We've actually got some footage too there of your pro debut.
Got the big time production value on this one.
And boxing out of the blue corner, making his professional debut, he is a former New Zealand heavyweight amateur champion. He is a former Oceania champion. And furthermore, he is a Commonwealth Games Manchester bronze medalist. Will you welcome to ringside, hailed from Gisborne, Shane Cameron!
Bang the body, Shane, bang the body. Press on the air, bang. Lovely, Shane, lovely, Shane. Bang the body. Bang the body, man. Yes. Up, lovely. Nice. Bang the body first, then come up.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's getting up after that. That is, I got punched by Kai Kara France a few weeks ago, and I can still, that brings back memories, that does. Yeah, that was me. Yeah, so how about yourself, Junior? Take us back to those amateur days and what it was like to represent Tonga in India, of all places, and win a medal.
Yeah, man, it was a good time. So I remember in the amateur ranks, you just kind of go from tournament to tournament. There was no, like, plan laid out. You know what I mean? I didn't know what was next. I just knew what was next was going to be bigger. So, you know, my first fight in the amateurs was actually at the New Zealand champs for the intermediate age group. So I took it up when I was 17 on my first fight, which was fun. I remember the first round. At that time, I've been training for maybe 10 months. So I knew, like, you know, box and move, hands up. As soon as I got in there, as soon as I got jabbed in the jaw, bro, hands came down, chin went up. I was just swinging, man. And then
Stick to the game plan. Stick to the game plan.
Nah, bro, no way, man. No way, man. I just fought. I fought for the first round, and then for the last 2 rounds, man, it was just all hard. You know what I mean? And then so that was my first fight, and then I just went from strength to strength from there. And I remember going and preparing for the Commonwealth Games in Delhi, 2010. That was fun because I was representing Tonga, and the reason why I represented Tonga is because Lolo was the coach for Tonga, so it made sense. To basically go there with my coach, and that was the same year that me and Joseph Parker were there at the same time. We were on different sides of the pools though. We both planned to meet in the final, but it didn't really work out that way. But that was probably like the main thing I remember in the amateurs. It was me and Parker going to like the same places of the world, but we never really fought each other. On the times we fought each other was just here, and then everywhere else he'll beat up some guy from that side of the world. I'll beat up some guy from the other side of the world too. So it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool back in the amateur days.
How many times did you guys face each other? Can you remember, or keep count, or keep score at least?
All up, we faced each other 5 times. So 4 times in the amateurs, 1 time as a pro. Yeah, a lot of rounds, good rounds.
What are we at otherwise?
3-2 to him. 3-2 to him.
Hey, not many people can say they beat Joseph Parker twice, brother. That's for sure.
Good times.
So I believe we actually had a picture of you, Junior, in your early days somewhere here. I think Ethan's.
She got those gloves, bro. She got those gloves. Counterpunch gloves.
You got the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle traps there, brother.
How old are you there?
I'm pretty sure that wasn't too long ago, bro.
That wasn't too long. Early days. Someone stitched me up with that.
I'm pretty sure I still look just like that.
It's the clean shave.
Yeah,
bro. Off. Takes years off you. You've actually got some footage here. I was going to show this one too, Shanna. This might be a bit of a walk down memory lane. I don't know if this is your daughter after the fight, maybe. This is after your pro debut.
Was it good? How good was it? Our choice.
Who's that little girl?
I don't think I had any kids at that time. So
Oh, no.
No, it was a friend of ours' daughter. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You got kids, huh?
Yeah. Yes. I got them spread all over the country.
What ages?
19, 11, and 4. Yeah. No, awesome. 2 girls and 1 boy.
What about yourself, Junior? Kids?
I've got 3, 11-year-old boy, 9-year-old girl, 3-year-old girl.
Yeah, there you go. So, fellas, you've both got into camps with some absolute legends of the game over your time. I believe, Shane, you've been in camp with the great Mike Tyson, and Junior with Deontay Wilder, who are 2 of the most fearsome punchers in boxing history. Have you got any good stories to tell about those camps? I got you. There's got to be something good there. Yeah, so fellas, have you got any good stories from those camps? Because those guys are big characters.
Yeah, I've got a couple of stories around Mike Tyson. Like Mike Tyson, he's the baddest man on the planet. But I don't know if you heard him speak. He speaks with a high-pitched voice and a lisp. How you doing, Shane? You all right, man? You're a crazy motherfucker, man. I didn't realize there'd be crazy white guys like you down in New Zealand. You're crazy. We were sparring one day. It was like heated sparring session. Like he's trying to knock my head off like a stolen lunch money every day. Boom, and he caught a hook, and I caught his hook, and then he dug me to the body, but he missed, and he hit me in the groin. And I said, "Hey, Mike, what's the low shots?" He goes, "Sorry, Shane." I'm like, holy shit, they come out of the baddest man on the planet.
I think after getting a punch from him in the balls, you might end up sounding like him after that.
Oh, yeah. And we asked him about the tattoo that he had, because he just not long got that tattoo. And he said it's like a Maori design. It's like a Maori design from New Zealand. It's like the Warriors in New Zealand, they're tough and strong, and then he started getting a little bit flustered. He goes, fuck, I don't know, man. I just seen it in the magazine, I liked it, so I got it. He goes, I don't care, it's my prerogative. Yeah. I was like, fuck, what the prerogative mean? Yeah, shit, that guy's
He
like...
probably saw the tumult on your arm and figured he was out of his depth, I reckon.
Oh, yeah, but anyway, it didn't look like a Māori design, it looked Celtic to me, but anyway. I wasn't going to tell him that.
How about yourself, Junior? Any good stories from the Deontay Wilder camp?
Yeah, with Deontay Wilder. So I've done a few camps with him, but I done a camp with him after he got beaten by Fury. He was prepping for the rematch, and he was different, man. He was different because in the spars before, you would always be wary about a big puncher like Deontay Wilder. It's scary, but it's fun. It's fun because, you're just dancing on the edge of death, really. and so I remember on this on this training session, which was our first sparring session for this camp. So he was preparing for Tyson Fury on his second fight, and the guy before me, Deontay Wilder messed him up. And usually in sparring, when you hurt someone, you land the punch, you probably gonna buzz them, and then you kind of step back, let it go. Deontay Wilder was just not in that mood, bro. He landed on him and he kept on going, and the guy fell down to the ground, bro. And he still tried to swing, and then there I am standing there. I'm just like, oh my gosh, I'm next, bro. What the heck? So on that round, bro, I just used my feet. I just kept moving around the ring, man. Yeah, man, he's a dangerous man, especially when he's angry.
How do these sparring sessions work? Is it just a fresh guy coming in each round, or is it each one's different?
It depends on the fighter. So basically, for him, he would have 3 guys, and we would mostly do maybe 2 rounds each or 3 rounds each. Yeah, so I would kind of use those rounds and just give him my best, and then the next guy will come in and then just give him their best as well, and they're all pretty much the same school level as me. So you got 3 me's going in there trying to bloody knock him out, and yeah, man, these guys are on another level, man.
So fellas, boxing is renowned for being a pretty crook game, to say the least. There's lots of characters and different promoters and organizations. There's about 10 of them at the moment. But I heard a funny story online, Junior, that you were telling someone about why the rankings don't matter. Are you picking up what I'm putting down? There was this particular story that after a fight where you got ranked and basically in the top 10, and you said it didn't matter.
Yeah, so in my last fight, before my last fight, I hadn't fought for a year. And since it was quite a high-profile fight because I was fighting in Saudi Arabia, this was for that big card where we had Anthony Joshua fighting, Deontay Wilder was fighting, Joseph Parker was fighting, everyone was basically fighting on that card. And they wanted to spice up my name, so they ranked me number 8 in the WBA, and I done nothing. So I'm just, what the heck is this, bro? So yeah, man. So rankings, you can't really take them too seriously. I think the public do, but boxers, we kind of understand the game. You know what I mean? Some dodgy stuff.
Yeah, for sure. So Shane, you won 11 belts in your career, all told. Tell us about what you felt was the highlight of your career.
Highlight of my career, I think I won a little bit more than 11. Did you say 11?
11 internationally recognised belts.
Right. Yeah, well, yeah, I haven't counted. But
I got you covered.
Probably the one that stood out the most would be beating Monty Barrett. Because I got bloody slaughtered by David Tua, and then Monty Barrett come along and took care of David. So I remember Kenny Rainsfield here, my manager. He rang me on that night when David got beaten, and we're talking on the phone. He goes, "You want that fight?" And I said, "Fuck, make that fight happen. Make that fight happen." So we made that fight happen, and that fight was so satisfying, that victory, because I know there would have been not many people thinking that I could win that fight, because of what David done to me and then what he done to David, and then I'm fighting this guy that took care of business. But it's in the sport of boxing, the styles make fights, and definitely, man, it's on the night too. It's on the night, and one punch can change the whole thing, and then it comes down to the camp. So there's all a lot of moving parts. A very good camp. I sparred David Hay, one of the best heavyweights I've been in the ring with in the UK for 2 or 3 weeks. So when I come back, preparation was, I was seeing everything. I was sharp, and it was probably one of my easiest fights. So yeah, that hands down be definitely my highlight of my career.
Yeah, I think we got some footage from that night, so definitely worth a watch.
Henry Schuster right there in the corner, Shane Cameron. We are ready for round number 4 for the WBO Asia Pacific WBO Oriental title. The champion, Monty Barrett. Shane Cameron.
Against the canvas. Monty Barrett is out, and he is still not coming around. The doctors are attending. Shane Cameron, the hand that's given him all the trouble. For the second time in succession, the right hand finishes the fight.
And here it is, Mike. Right when Monty Barrett came in, it was the force coming in and the force going out. Look at the knees. He did not brace the fall. He was out.
He was gone from the moment it hit, and it was a matter of which right hand hit first in this fight. And Shane Cameron got there first. And I've got to say, that is an upset.
Absolutely, it's an upset. But again, Shane Cameron at the age of...
That is a hell of a knockout, bro. That's a hell of a knockout.
Was it one of those, as soon as you felt it, you knew he's gone?
No, I knew he was gone, and yeah, I jumped along to the ropes, but I looked back to make sure he didn't get back up because I didn't want to fight anymore. I wanted to have a beer.
Too good, man. You mentioned that Day of Reckoning card. Look at that. Some of the names and faces on that thing.
Basically, the heavyweight top 15 all fighting in the one night. You gotta love what Turkey Al-Sheikh's done for boxing recently. It's boxing went through a phase of everyone ducking each other, and then now you're getting cards like this. As a boxing fan, this is the best thing since sliced bread.
Well, I think you look at that card too. Like usually it's like mismatch, and then there's a couple good fights. But you look at that, like every fight is. Yeah, it's good. Crazy. How did you come to be on this card? Like the conversations kind of building up to it.
To be honest, it was more just business. It was more. I was in good talks with my promoter. I didn't know what was happening, and they needed a heavyweight for this card, and he put my name in, and they liked my name, and they said yes. But that was just from me having a good relationship with the promoter that I had, because the promoter, he's got plenty of heavyweights, but he put my name in.
Were you with Lou DiBella?
Yeah. So that was a funny picture too, because one of the guys up there, he was sitting down in one of the chairs where he wasn't supposed to be, and plus he wasn't gonna get up to. It took him freaking ages, bro. He's one of these guys at the back.
Oh, what?
Anyway,
he thought he's the main man. Just sit down.
100%.
Everyone
bro.
get around me.
Usually in boxing, bro, you don't really have too many egos, but this guy, bro, far out. Man.
Who was it, out of interest?
Ironically, he's a guy that I fought before. He's a Russian dude at the back. He was touted as the Russian monster. So if you see, sorry, I don't know.
Arms folded?
Yes, at the back with the hoodie on, right behind Deontay Wilder.
He's 7 feet.
Yeah, he looks pretty Russian, that dude.
Yeah, big guy. Ironically, he and I were supposed to fight. And then I retired. Not because I was going to fight him. But that was going to be my last fight. But then I just kind of had a change of, life thingy. Then I just decided to retire. But he did come and say hi because he and I fought years ago, and I beat him, and he didn't like that, and he came in and he talked to me. I'm like, see, bro. But yeah.
What was
back in the days?
What was the decision to retire?
Oh, just all boring stuff. Just a change of life view. So my whole view of life changed, and I didn't see the sport the way I did before. I didn't see life the way I did before, and then I couldn't really justify the reasons of making money punching someone in the head, and then I just decided to retire.
So not even take a break, just that's it.
Yeah, nah, because it's like, you know, when it's gone, it's gone, and this this sport is too dangerous to basically, like, you know, dip your feet in it type of thing, especially at the level that especially the time where, like, you know, I was fighting very, very dangerous dudes, and I can't really play around with the sport. Yeah. So so in my head I'm like, okay, if I'm not 100% in, then I'm all out. So
I know, because I know a lot of sports people, to make that decision, it's such a conflict inside. Like, there's a bit of an arm wrestle that goes on inside your head. What about for yourself, Shane, making the decision to retire? Was it a feeling of relief once you make the decision, or was it something that kind of went back and forth?
Oh, I had no choice. Because as part of the promotion, I said, if I lose this fight, I'm going to retire. And I fucking lost. So I'm like, oh shit, I'm a man of my word, so it means I've got to retire. I didn't want to retire. But anyway, no, it all worked out. It's just time to, I had a few tough fights towards the end of my career. So it was, I think probably a few people around me were probably quite pleased that I pulled pin. But no, everything's about timing. Yeah. And I should have retired 3 fights before that, but anyway. We can't make change. No, I'm happy with my retirement, definitely. And I don't miss the sport. I don't want to get back in the ring, and I don't care how much money there is. You know, it's just about, like Junior just said, you know, your focus changes. You know, you become more about your family and your kids and doing what you can do for them and how you can help them grow. Because, you know, in the sport of boxing, it's a really selfish sport. You know, I done pretty well because I was very selfish. And you have to be, you know, so, and I took that to the highest level of being selfish. You know, everyone else was second rate, you know, so even girlfriends and that, but just how I was fortunate, you know, but then that's how I proceeded so well in the sport, because I gave it everything, you know, so I never left any stone unturned. I did everything possible. So if I lost that fight, it's because I lost to the better man. It just wasn't my night, but yeah, time to pull pin. It was time to pull pin, so I'm happy with that, content with that. So,
well, I think both of you will go down undisputedly as two of the greatest heavyweights that this nation has ever produced, without doubt. You know, you guys have had incredible careers, and yeah, definitely. I think you're both very deserving of that applause and that praise. You know, I've been a fight fan since I've been a youngster, and you know, we haven't had much talent come through, but you two are huge standouts as the history books go, for sure. So tell us about what's next for you guys. You know, in this next chapter of life. Shane, I remember you went on Dancing with the Stars for a season and did pretty well. Junior, when's Dancing with the Stars happening, brother?
Hit me up, bro. Hit me up. Dancing with the Stars. And then I got to do High Rocks. And then anyways, I'm just, you know, following along.
There's a checklist, eh? I think, just touching on what Mitch said too, like, you know, I've kind of just watched fights alongside my old man, you know, we're big fans as well. And for a long time in that heavyweight division, you just had Klitschko just jabbing people's heads off. And I think people lost a lot of interest in the heavyweight division. And then all of a sudden, you know, you got Ruiz, you got Wilder, Parker, Joshua. Klitschko was still active then. Usyk, Zhang, White, yourself, Dubois.
It's some great guys coming up as well. Ajit Kabayel, no one wants to fight him. You know, there's a lot of boogeymen in that division.
Yeah. Do you like, you look at some of those names, you think you'll look back at your career and be like, man, that was a hell of a time to be a heavyweight boxer.
Good time, man. Good times. Because you know, like the guys that are up there now, they're the guys that those are the guys that we used to see in the like, you know, world tournaments, amateur tournaments. I remember the first time I went in went to England, I went and sparred Anthony Joshua. But this was before Anthony Joshua was anyone. So before that, I beat the English representative at the Commonwealth Games. And before that fight, I knew Anthony Joshua lost to that dude. So I didn't think that guy was going to be good. And then my first round with Anthony Joshua, this was like, back in the amateur days. He gave me a bleeding nose and a black eye on the first round, bro. He was, he was a talent. And then, and then he just goes from strength to strength. And it's cool seeing, like, guys like Deontay Wilder, Parker, everyone that I remember seeing growing up in the sport, they're all taking over the sport. Even Usyk, he bloody whipped my butt years ago, man. But yeah, special talent, man. Special talent, him.
Now that you're not active fighter, does this mean you can go fight in Dan Hooker's backyard?
50 G's,
There's been a few,
baby.
hasn't there? There's been a few put their hand up. Was it, because I didn't realise Wild Boy Hilu had he was a pro fighter, decent fighter too.
Very, very good fighter. Very good fighter. But yeah, man. But
Do you think that like that setup, like he's definitely onto something because people are entertained, people want to watch it. Is there rules around it? Like, do you have to be licensed or like what's going on there? Has it got a future?
I've no idea. I just like the format. 1 minute, small gloves, small space. You just go there, scrap. It's just I think it's cool. I think it's cool. It's fun.
I tell you what, if let's say I was born on the 20th of October and I was 6'5", if I saw Junior Farr coming to the backyard scraps, I would run for the fucking hills, man.
50 G's though, Mitch.
Fucking McDonald's afterwards, bro. That's what I'm interested in. No thanks. So, fellas, I mean, aside from the heavyweights, obviously boxing's in a healthy place. You've got Jai Opetaia, who's a destroyer at cruiserweight. I'd like to see him go up to heavyweight someday and challenge Usyk. But, we've got this big fight coming up with Bud Crawford and Canelo Alvarez. And the little guys are also sort of making their mark on the game as well. Do you guys have any standouts in your brain?
I don't really follow sport, to be fair. I mean, like, especially boxing. I don't really follow a lot of boxing. Just like, I'm not super sporty. I'm not a super sporty guy. I just fell into the sport of boxing, gave it a go for a few years, and then retired. So
11 belts on the way.
I know who Canelo is. There's a lot of guys that I don't know who they are. I know who the boys are going to be fighting tonight, and this is what we're here for. The Sonny Bill Williams and Paul Gallen. That's going to be a bloody exciting fight. And there's a lot of trash talking going on here, so I want to see who's going to be he who laughs last, eh?
Yeah, the last few days were insane. I mean, I think Paul called him a scumbag for charging for food reviews. It was fucking all over the place.
What's how much of that? Like, I know a lot of it's for promotion and stuff. How much of it is genuine, legit? And if it's like, if you do have to fake it, if you do have to put it on, like, how hard is it to hold those press conferences?
I don't know if you can fake that, but I reckon it's genuine. I don't even know. I don't know either of the boys, but I reckon it's genuine, man. It's pretty, especially Sonny Bill talking about the drugs. Focusing on that. So hopefully it's a good motivation for him to set the thing straight. And take him out. So I hope Sonny Bill does the business tonight. He's probably he's one of the most exceptional athletes that I've seen. Definitely come out of this year, probably out of the world actually. For the sports where he's jumped from code to code and taken them out. And even been fighting for 10 plus years. Paul Gallen, he fought on my undercard 12 years ago, so he's been in the game a little while too. So. They say they're ex-footballers, but they've been in the game over a decade. So when you're in a sport for over a decade, they get to know what it's all about. So they're pretty experienced guys.
Yeah, I mean, Paul Gallen's only 2 losses have come to Australian heavyweight champions and Australian belts. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting. Who do you fellas have for tonight?
Oh, I don't really. I say the best man win, but I hope Sonny Bill wins. But what he's shown in previous fights, I think he's going to struggle because Paul Gallen's going to turn up and he's going to turn up. There's going to be no secret. He's going to turn up. He's a bull in a china shop. He's looking a little bit leaner, but yeah, he just likes to out muscle, get in Sonny Bill's face, put him on the ropes, and then that's where Sonny gets a little bit sort of uncharted territory for him, you know. So I hope that doesn't happen, but we'll see, man. We're just gonna.
How about yourself, Junior?
Yeah, I definitely see it around the same way. I'm definitely leaning towards Paul Gallen and the way and the pressure that he puts on. He's a bit of a specimen himself, you know what I mean? He puts a lot of pressure. He's tough. I agree with Shane Cameron. Like Sonny Bill has to show him something early, gain some respect early, just so Paul Gallen knows that he can't just walk forward without paying for it. And so Sonny Bill has to show something. Does he have the capacity to do so? Does he have the skills to do so? I'm not too sure. But you know, and he's been training with Jai Pataya's dad, the coach, and so he would have learned something from there. Sonny Bill seems to be the type that will learn fast and will apply things fast as well. But you know, given their age, them have been away from the sport for a little bit, so I'm not too sure what they're looking like. But yeah, but definitely Sonny Bill has to show him something early, or Paul Gallen's going to take over.
What's I'll get both your thoughts on David Nika. So he's on this card as well, and we'll try to get this wrapped up before his fight starts. But that fight that he took with Jai Pataya, was it a fight that he had to take? And how hard is it coming back from getting knocked out like that, getting back in the ring and carrying on?
When you get the opportunity to fight for the world title, you take it, man. You take it. A little bit early, yeah, for sure. But you know, what happened. David Nika lost, but he's definitely the future. You know, he's such a talent, man. I'm pretty sure he's the most decorated and most accomplished amateur boxer that we've had in New Zealand. He's taken out so many tournaments, double Commonwealth Games gold medalist, Olympic bronze medalist. Like, man, the guy's like so super skillful. It just wasn't his time on that night, but he definitely will be coming back. And this fight for sure, with Nika versus Nick Charalampas, it's a tough fight.
Nick is a problem. Nick the Greek, I think, you know, he's paying $13 tonight, but he's a great boxer. He's been around the scene for a while, and I think, you know, he fought Liam Messam last time out, and you know, I was on him heavy at $5.25. I thought it was ridiculous odds, but he's a guy who you can't overlook, I would say.
Yeah, you can't overlook him, but like he hasn't been in the game for a while. Like I said, had those fights, but they're not really challenging fights, you know. And I know Nick personally, so I just hope he's done the work to turn up. I think there's two levels. There's Nick Charalampas level, and then there's David Naika level. Yeah, it shouldn't be a tough night for Naika. I think it's definitely going to be a tough night for Nick. I just hope he's done the work.
100%. So, ladies and gentlemen, please make some noise for two legends of the game, Mr. Shane Cameron and Mr. Junior Farr.
I gotta cut to the chase. Everyone give me some space. Don't fall out, we fall into place. Every step walking with grace, amen. Keeping my foot off the brakes. Impact, I'm ready to brace.
So look, we've got to thank our sponsors one more time. Thank you to Spates, thank you to the One New Zealand Warriors, thank you to the TAB and to Scopic. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for coming out to our year. Make some noise one more time for Junior Farr and Shane Cameron. And we'll hopefully see you next week. Go the fucking Warriors.
Gotta cut to the chase. Everyone give me some space. Don't fall out, we fall into place. Every step walking with grace, amen. Keeping my foot off the brakes. Impact, I'm ready to brace.